It's me again, unshaven. It's late. It's me, James Lott Jr. This is JLJ After Dark. Thank you for the nice reaction I got to the first episode I did that wasn't live a couple nights ago. You guys really reacted to it, and I got a decent amount of people who numbers for a first night released at nighttime and everything. So thank you. Oh my God, I need to wash my face. I'll be right back for a second. I know it's like I'm doing a live show. That's not the blue speaker. Hold on for a second. I'll be back in a second. Here's a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. What I want to talk about this tonight. But anyway, there's JLJ this morning, JLJ this evening, which I'm working on something for that. But JLJ After Dark. I'm really focusing on this one right now because I'm kind of like inspired. So be with me. And at some point I will be live. Just I've had some early mornings. I haven't been able to stay up as late as I want to. So when I get a late night and I can do it, then I will do a live show again, have guests and the whole thing. But right now I'm putting these out and just kind of trying something. You guys are going along with the ride. One of the topics I want to kind of talk about tonight a little bit is graveyard shifts, or they call them third shifts or whatever, second or night shifts, overnight shifts. I know some of the lotties actually have these shifts, and they actually, when I come on live, they watch. So, how you guys doing your hard work at night? I was thinking of this the other day because I actually there's something about working at night that just hits differently than working in the daytime. Uh, like when you work on the weekends, sometimes it hits differently than working in the week. I actually wrote, okay, so 50 plus my series that I have out now, my podcast, originally was a show. And it's in my vaults. Maybe one day I'll release it to somebody. I don't know. But it was about these folks who work at night and what kind of life that is. And it was inspired in my life when I worked, I had a couple of jobs where I worked at night, and literally worked overnight. It's like this whole other world. Um, and one of the things that I remember I did, okay, so what I didn't like about it, of course, was at nighttime. Everybody else was, I was young, everybody else was partying, having a good time, we're sleeping, and I was going to work. That schedule of sleep is the weirdest thing. I have friends who've done night shifts and overnight shifts for, I mean, like decades, and they're used to it. Where you kind of sleep during the day, and while everybody else is awake, while the sun is out. And then you get up and it's like, how do you plan your day when you could do it? It's like it just feels unnatural at first. You're like, how do I do this? Um, my breakfast is someone's lunch. I'm gonna check my friend Cameron on it because he did that. He did an early shift. It was kind of, it wasn't really graveyard, but it was something like that. I want to get him on here and talk to him about this because we talked about this. It's so weird. It's like if okay, so depending on the time you have to go into work. One of my shows, the whole time. One of my jobs, the shift was 9:45 to 5:45. So I had to be there at 9:45. And so the decision usually was make sure you eat before you go in. But in the middle of the night, you get hungry. Like you just a normal, like 4 or 5 hours in, you're hungry. You're just because you're naturally you're up, it'd be time for lunch. and you go on your breaks. And one of the funny things about that is you're like, okay, well, what's open? The job I worked at was I'd be across the street from a Safeway, which is a grocery store in Northern California, was across the street. So it was 24 hours. So I can get food in there. So I can go there and get food, whatever. We had a microwave in our place and everything. And we actually had a stove too. So I could make stuff. We could make something. But your body's like, are you really hungry? Like, are you want to eat a full meal? Whatever. Like, I don't, working in New York was different because New York is different because New York is 24-hour town. It doesn't like you just do anything there. But in California, it was a little weird to get used to. It was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get hungry. I'm gonna eat something. And then when you get off for work, sometimes like I know for me when I get off for work, you still have to wind down. Take some time to wind down, and you're going in. You want just this. You don't go to bed right away. Nobody goes to bed right away. So, but it's the morning. Luckily, things are open in the morning for breakfast. So it's kind of like you could have breakfast with people. A lot of times we would go together and have breakfast. It was fun. And then it was like, I go to bed. I had to make sure my house was dark so I could actually not get any sunlight in. Now, I don't have a problem sleeping. I don't have a problem sleeping, period. I can sleep standing up. I can go sleep right now. Um, but it was like, yeah, better make sure it was dark, make sure my phone was off. Um, there was just certain little things like that because I need to get at least get 6 hours at least. 6 hours younger, so it didn't matter. But I was trying to get 6 to 8 hours every time. And then you wake up and then and like, okay, so for example, that shift, I go to bed around maybe 8 and then sleep from 8 to like 4, if I can, or 3, and then get up and then whatever errands I have to do, things like I do, try to do that, make phone calls, check in with the kids, all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes I could meet people out for certain things. Oh, I'll meet you out for a happy hour or whatever, but I would try not to. I can't really drink. I have to go to work tonight. Um, and now so it was hard. But I'll tell you what was harder for me. I don't know about you guys at home. For me, it was harder when I used to work evening shifts. Because so some of my jobs I had in retail food service, you had the morning shift. Then they had things called swing shifts or mid shifts. And those were like the 10 to 7s or 11 to 9s, 11 to 8 or 11 to 12 to 9s in the middle. Where it's kind of like you can look at it one or two ways. You get a little piece in the morning and you still get a little piece in the evening. You don't have to get up early next thing because the next thing is you don't go to work till 10 or 11 or 12, so you get up early. Or you look at it as your day is just washed because you don't have really much on your side. But then also, those shifts that always got me were the 12 to 10, excuse me, 2 to 10s, 3 to 9, 4 to 12. Like I have a few of those because like I would have the whole day. Because if I got home, if I get off at 10 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 at night, I can still go to bed at like 1 or 2 and I can still sleep for 6 hours, be up at 8. You have the whole, it's only give the whole day. And then I was always trying to find ways not to go to work because that just seemed harder. It was like, because you like people, like, especially if I had to work on a weekend and everybody would get together or barbecues or whatever, having parties, and I have to leave to go to work. That was just like, I don't want to leave. I want to continue partying. Having a good time, continue relaxing, having a good day. Um, and so for me, it was actually harder having those. I didn't mind early morning shifts are tough if you don't get up mornings, but then you're done early. I had a job that was 5 to 1, worked at Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, and I was the bell, East Coast, and that was actually kind of fun, but it was also painful. Got to get up at 4 in the morning, and I was a night owl back then, so it's like that was painful. But once I was done at 1 o'clock, I was like energized and alive, and the rest of the day. But I never go to bed early like I was supposed to. Those kind of shifts you go to bed early. You have to go to bed like at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and I can't do that. So graveyard wasn't so bad. It was almost like it was just a flip of everybody else. It's quieter at night. Depending on your job, it wasn't as busy. It's not as busy. the very little interaction with the public. I've had several different overnight jobs. I was also a switchboard operator at one, so the night switchboard was just not as crazy. There was you get something every once in a while, but it was much more quieter. So it could get boring or tiring. But for me, I was keeping journals. So I was always writing journals. Always had magazines, newspapers. I was reading stuff. I was always trying to keep myself a little busy around the office, doing stuff. If I have a person with me, we would talk, we'd hang out and talk, and hang out. I had one job where it was a little dangerous at night. Because people would be drunk trying to come into our place of business. And that was always the problem, especially on the weekends. Friday and Saturday nights, they would get drunk. They had to deal with drunk folks. They're telling you off, they're going crazy, all kind of stuff. That was a little rough sometimes too when it came to the graveyard shift. But it's just very quiet. It's nighttime. It's very quiet. I like the night, like the late night. There's something about late night that's really beautiful. Um, and it's just like it's its own world. It's really its own world. Man, I kind of like it. I'm attracted to it on some level, but I like sunlight. And recently I've been doing a lot of early mornings, and I'm not a fan, but once I get up and I'm going to have coffee, I'm good. I'm good to go. But I'm not a big fan. But I'm thinking right now, if I had to choose between the two, I might choose late night. I might. As long as I have a comfortable chair and everything, and I'm fine, and the world's nice and quiet out now, and nobody's bothering me. You don't get a lot of emails or texts or anybody's leaving you alone. There's something about that. I guess I don't know. Um, I have some fond memories of that, working that, and at times when now that I'm on my own solopreneur, I remember in terms of writing. Because I do a lot of writing. I write books, I write screenplays, I write poems and poetry and songs and audio dramas and stuff. I find sometimes after dark, late at night, is when the inspiration hits me. I'm able to really get in there and have real clear thoughts and have a lot of fun, get stuff done. Tonight I was doing some stuff also that I just can't get done during the day. Because during the days, like, you just have all these, just everybody's at you. They're on top of you. There's so much going on. There's things are going on. I have all these monitors here. So I have a monitor over here on my left. I have a monitor over here, and I have a monitor over there. And I got stuff here, papers here and there and yonder, and my disco cup and whatever. So it's like, and my coins, whatever, my little snacks. Um, it can be a lot. But then I also kind of like it at night too. It's just like, okay, here I am, do my thing. But I found as sometimes late at night is my inspiration will come in. As many of you guys know, and Flubbo, my friend Flubbo always jokes with me about, a lot of times I like to sleep, and a lot of times I dream stuff when I'm sleeping, and I wake up and write it. So a lot of times, so I need to go to sleep the most of the time so I can do this, be creative. But sometimes the nighttime for me now, it's more of a catch up time because during the day I just have so much going on, whether it's family stuff, house stuff, emails, requests. I mean, just so much. Sometimes I can start like around 10 o'clock at night, and until about 1 in the morning, get a bunch of stuff knocked out, done. I do some of my filming of my podcast late at night because it's quiet, so you don't hear anything anyway. It's really quiet, so that's perfect, and just knock them out, and it's good to go. One by one and get them out, which I actually did tonight. So yeah, I'll do that. I just want to talk about that a little bit. Sign up for the class. Our Zooms for February and January and February are out. We're on. If you're listening to us audio wise, thank you for listening to us audio wise. But just put me on your ears and just walk around with me and listen. I'm getting offers from eBay. If you're watching, thanks for watching. I love the comments. And again, if you have any topics for me to talk about, please let me know. But we're talking about, I would talk about insomniacs soon, like stuff like that too, because these are things affecting the after dark crowd. Also, adult topics, we'll talk about those too. This is for late night crowd. So 10 p.m., 10 p.m. Look for new episodes. I might be increasing this as we go along, so you never know. I'm James Lott Jr. I love you, Lotties. Talk to you next time.